Jungkook walked in room with tray as he from not finding in her room, and then he heard her voice from washroom aside, shaking his head as he put the tray aside and walked to washroom. He's about to knock, but he directly opened as mine looked. How can you? She frowned but threw up again, and Jungkook walked to her as he looked at her in mirror, and she's throwing up. When he speaks, who told you to drink this much? He asked, and she glared at him. She threw up again as he looked at her a little concerned, and he held her hairs back as he rubbed her back gently and shied on him. Later, she opened the tap to wash her mouth. But he just watched her as he took her hair clip before tying her hair. Well, she felt a little weird feeling. She looked at him and he stared at her for a while. As he took tissues and handed to her to clean herself. As she cleaned herself, but he still helped her, making her look at him all confused. Is she really your crush? She asked out of blue, and he looked in her eyes amazed. I mean, yes or no? He asked, and she frowned. Means he bit his lip. Yes or no? What do you want to hear? He asked, and she looked away. She smiled slightly, straightened her expression. I asked a question. You don't question me on me. My question, she said, and looking back, and he poked his cheek. What if I say yes? Mine raised brows. If yes, then why you married me? I think she's happily single, I guess. She said, smiling, and he just stared at her for a while. Are you scared, perhaps? Oh, how I forget. You are scared. And from scared, I remember. You kissed me. She said, kiss me, and he closed his eyes, looking away. She made him look at him. Look at me. Why did you do that, huh? How can you kiss me like that? Without my permission? You didn't kiss me on my wedding then? She asked, and letting him speak, and also he doesn't know what to answer. It was an honest mistake, he said, and she squinted. And by mistake, you will make me pregnant one day, she said, making his eyes widen. What? And she realized what she said as she corrected her thought. I mean, this can't be a mistake. You did it intentionally, she said, and Jungkook stared at her, having no answer. So he corrected his thought, looking away. You're forgetting I'm a man, he said, making her wide eyes a little, and she made him look at her by pulling him from his collar. What do you mean by that? You're a man, huh? Jungkook looked at her and hand placed. Aren't you being too friendly? He said, and she squints. So you can kiss me without my permission. In return, you don't expect this. What kind of behavior is this, Jungkook? She said, and he stared at her. Don't do this. As he removes her hand, dusting off his blazer. I should be more careful with you. I don't think we can sleep in the same room, she said, and he scoffed. What's with this now? She asked, and he looked at her. Go ahead, no one stopped you, he said, and she squints. Fine, you will handle your mother. I won't take any responsibility. He chuckles sarcastically. That's your call, not mine. I'm not here to take any responsibility. She smiled, tightening her lips. If she asks me, I will say your son is thought on another level. Jungkook looked at surprise. She nodded with an innocent smile. He slightly smirked as he placed hands on her waist and pulled her closer with a jerk, making her gasp as she placed both of her hands on his chest to maintain the distance. Jungkook, she yelled almost. Shh. He placed finger on her lips, making her eyes widen. You realized what you just said now? He said, and she struggled in his grip. And when his lips were up a little and placed on counter and she leaned back. Have you gone crazy? She uttered, telling what it really looks like. So what you just said. Have I ever did that? Did I force you? Did I make? Shut up. As she gulped down. You did start. You can't be trusted now. I don't trust you now. she said, and he stared at her. He leaned in as she leaned back, and their lips were almost up touching when she shut her eyes and tightened. He kept shifting his gaze between her lips and eyes when he slightly opened the tap and splashed water on her face, making her gasp. What the? You have bad breath. Go and brush, he said, making her look at him shout as he moved. She clenched her jaws as she took water from tap and splashed on him from back, and he sighed as he looked at her. You wanna play in morning? He said, and she stared him. Fine. He is about to unbutton his shirt and Wine's eyes widened. No, she immediately shouted, and he huffed. Do everything, but don't scream. I swear my ear bleeds, he said with annoyance, and she took shower in her hand. Nice, then I will scream more until your ear bleeds for real. Jungkook gave her a look. Oh, come, I'll make you scream, he said, walking near. When she turned on the shower and made him wet, and he looked at her angrily. Why, and she giggled. Wanna still make me scream? She said, making him wet in shower, and he glared at her. I was ready to go office, he spitted with annoyance, and she shrugged, controlling her smile. Not my problem. Jungkook squinted, and something cooked in his mind as he locked the door, making her eyes wide, which has already come out of her socket. Hey, what are you doing? Jungkook broke his cheeks. He removed his blazer, and her breath quickened and fear rushed to her body when he unbuttoned his shirt as he dangerously walked near her, and she held shower as a weapon, pouring all water on him, and he brushed his hair back as he fearlessly walked, while her body got goosebumps in disorder as she quickly jumped off the counter and tried to run towards the door, but he pulled her back from her arm. He directly looked in her eyes, and she looked at him terrified as she gasped down. What are you doing? Her voice stammered. You should do everything, but shouldn't mess up with me. He picked her up in his arms as she gasped, and he walked in. She tried to push him, but he looked away as he switched on the shower, and cold water drops on her body, sending her shivers as she gasped loudly while he watched her, and his expression changes to intense one. She clutched him tightly due to cold water as it poured like rain, and he moves up to bathtub as she looked at her and she shook her head. Jungkook, no. She cut it off as he already soaked in cold water, and he quite enjoyed watching her expression, and a mischievous smile appears on his face. He switched all showers, and she declared at him as he raised brows. Do you like it? He asked, raising brows, and she wiped her face again and again. Hangover must have gone now. He spitted, and she kept glaring at him. She took her shampoo bottle and threw on him, making him sad. So stubborn of him. He mumbled it as he smiled innocently. I have more technologies in my bathroom. Should I show you? You won't get to know where is the water coming from, he said, mischievously smirking. Really, you have this much time to waste with me now? Quite progressive, I see, she said with a light sarcastic chuckle. I have a lot of time when it comes to events, he said, leaning toward. She got up, glaring at him as she is about to step down. Do you think I'm done? He uttered, and she raised brows, glaring at him as he walked near her, dangerously making her step backward. As her foot got slipped and she's about to fall, but he catches her, looked in her eyes with concern. But intensity didn't change, and her heartbeat becomes faster suddenly seeing him this close. Your last night hangover didn't over yet, huh? He whispers, and her brows twitched a little. What do you mean? She asked, trying to push him and he stabbed and marked them without leaving her. Means you drink this much that you don't even remember that you were drunk. Of course, that was most alcoholic drink. He said, and my eyes widened a little. I drank. He nodded with a slight grin. When and how? She stammered. He loosened the grip and looked away before looking back. You'll know on breakfast. He's about to step on, but she held him back. Don't leave in half. Tell me clearly. I swear I hated those people who leave conversation in suspense. She asked, and he looked at her and her hand placed. Will you able to listen? He whispers, and she notices his gaze and take her hand back. Don't twist, speak, she said, looking up. And he grinned, stepping down his wine's mouth hung open, and she quickly tried to follow him. But her foot got slipped again, and she's about to fall away again. And Jungkook held her, rolling his eyes as he supported her lower back, leaning. Wine instantly gets the flashback of dance ending from this moment. Her heart almost popped out. Who changed my cloth? She asked. I didn't remember I did change, she said nervously while he looked in both of her eyes with no answer, continuously shifting his gaze. Don't tell me you. I didn't. He immediately cuts off her. She looked at him a little suspiciously, but his intensity he is carrying immediately made him push away, as it reminds her that he might repeat that again. I clearly don't trust you. How can I trust that you didn't took advantage when I was drunk? She said, looking away, and he bit his lips. Do you think you are that beautiful that you can make me do that? Yeah, of course I am. She stopped as his face froze. I mean, I'm beautiful, she said, flicking her hair, and he folded arm across his. No, you're not, he replied with his unserious expression and shook squinbles. You have eye problem. I am beautiful than any of your crush. Jungkook controlled his laugh, hearing that. Now tell me what happened yesterday. I swear if I got to know you did anything wrong. She said, and he nodded. I'll tell you, wait. He whispered. He walked near her, catching her between in his arms, and her eyes widened. You can talk from distance as well, she said as he stirred her face. No, you said you were beautiful, so I'm trying to find that if you can make me do that or not. Her eyes widened. What? Leave it. I myself get to know if I get. Jungkook's eyes widened. Are you mad? What are you saying? He said, being surprised. What you can do? You want baby, so you will use my body only. His expression turned serious. You think that low? He asked, and she nodded as he looked at her in disbelief. If you still then you are worsen. I don't want baby with you. When I told you, you can use my body like that, can you? He said, and he stared at her for a brief moment. You won't be able to walk if I did that, he said, making her feel her stomach flip, and he closed his eyes. Woman, you should choose your words wisely, he said with serious expression and mind gulped. Otherwise, I can make you feel that pain which you always afraid of. Don't hurt my ego, which you always do, he said, leaning closer, and she turned her face aside nervously. Hating you is a choice for me. Don't turn it only my only choice. You won't be able to handle me and my wrath, he whispers, and she looked at him as he stood close to her. This is the first and last warning, he said, looking in her eyes dangerously. I'm scared. Nice try, she said, folding arms across her chest, and the coldness in his eyes slightly easy into warmth and slipping away his anger a little. He stared at her, thinking what kind of a creature she is. Not to able to speak anything, she maintains a daring eye contact with him, but it got broke as his phone rings, and she looked at door, but he didn't move his gaze a budge as she looked at him. Your phone is ringing, she said coldly without looking at him, and he moves away. As he walked the door while she side-eyed on him walking, as she peeked at did he walk out or not. As he took look, she looks away. He unlocked the door and glaring at her as soon as he moves out, she quickly rushed to the door and slipped again but balanced herself and locked the door, leaning and catching her breath. Jungkook looked at the door and shut his eyes. I had to wash up, he said in cold voice. So after me, she replied. I had to go office YN, he said, hardening his voice. Not my problem, she replied, and he glared at the door. I had keys. Her eyes widened. If I come, I make you wash up first, sure. He warned, and she quickly takes something to stick on the door so he won't be able to open the door. She also doorknobs other one and put hand on his chest, blowing. What do you think I can break door? He uttered, and her eyebrows twitched. Oh man, you are a human? Or she said with a little annoyance, and he gave her a glare. Attend your call, I'll be quick. Chaco picked the call while glaring at her as he shifts his gaze. Yes. So, video conference you need to attend. You didn't reach office, so I had to call you, the secretary said. He ran his fingers through hair frustratedly as he completely forgot about it. Is it necessary to attend now? That too on video? He asked, looking himself. Mine's rose twitched, hearing him as she attached her ears to door. Important, sir, it's already started, Jungkook sighed. Okay, it's not the first time I'm attending like this. He mumbled the last line while Wine's eyes widened. Okay, I'm coming on video, he said, and Wine quickly opened the door. Oh, hello. Dare you to go on video like this? She said, opening the door, shouting, and Jungkook quickly muted to speak. What's your problem? He asked coldly. Wine looked at him from head to toe. That he's wearing only pants, nothing up on upper body. You will go on like this on video? She said, pointing at his bare upper body, and he raised his brow. Yes, sir. She glared at him. Here's something, wear t-shirt. She said, ordering him, and he gave her a look. Jungkook ignores her as he unmutes the speaker. Eddie, send me the link, I'm joining the call. He stops as a flying slipper hit his butt, and he dead glared to her. She was glaring at him, squinting first. I dare you, she mounted. Jungkook muted the speaker. Let me see you first, he uttered, clenching his jaws. As he is about to walk, but she quickly shut the door on his face. If you go shirtless on call, Jungkook, you will face the consequences. She shouted loudly, and he rose. Really? What you will do? He uttered. I know what you can't take. I'll do the same, she said, and he poked his cheek. You will also go on call shirtless? He asked, poking his cheeks, and she made him weird face. You are shameless, Baldak. I'm not. He controlled his smile and turns his cold back. Shut up, it's important. I have a lot of work to do. I can't wear anything since I'm wet. I'm going on video. Now don't disturb me, he said coldly, and her mouth hung open. He joined the call as he's about to on the video. A flying towel received on his face. Cover yourself with this quietly. Understand? She ordered him, peeking from door as he removes the towel, glaring at her, and she muttered, watching you. And he still gave her that look as he steps forward, she immediately shuts the door. John Jungkook, shameless person, how can you show your skin like this to everyone? I will never talk to you, she shouted. He poked his cheeks as he peeked at her and walked to his wardrobe, taking out a shirt and wear it, glancing at her. He sits on the bed as he took his laptop and turned on the camera. Good morning, everyone, he said. She heard his voice as he peeked from the door. and her face muscles relaxed, seeing him in shirt but still glared at him, pouting. Quite surprised to see you in clothes, he commented. Washroom door closed with a third as he glanced with and looked back on screen. Yeah, I'm supposed to, he replied. I thought it's your habit now. Happy to see you see some change. Someone special, I guess, he said with a slight grin. It could be his wife, I guess. Why, Mr. John? He speaks on Jungkook's side. I was habituated to see you like that in morning. I mostly join calls for that. Jungkook focused cheeks while others laughed. Strange, we don't have any girls here. He's fulfilling that space, he said, and Jungkook straightened his back. Can we start the meeting? He said informally. Sure, we have been waiting for that only from past 1 hour, he said, correcting his thought. Also, we heard your wife scolding you, he added, and he looked at everyone, then hiding his get scolded by a wife is right. At least he has wife. You don't have any GF though, he said, teasing and Jim glared at him. Yeah, she will listen. Enough, everyone, he interrupts. Start the meeting. Everyone knows. Vine was standing at the last stairs as Jungkook frowned as he steps down and about to walk, but Vine stopped him. Where are you going? She asked and he raised both. Where I have to? My work, he replied coldly as he was about to walk but she blocks his way. Go later, now you have to help me, she stubbornly said and he gave her a blank look. You must have to do breakfast right. Come, she said holding his hand but he stopped her. I don't have appetite, he said coldly and she squints. When looked at Finn with pleading. You can't do this to me, you have to help me. Please help me, she said pouting and he gave her a look. Your mom is taking class of everyone. I'm also involved, so I will get scolded. I don't want to get scolded, she said playing with her fingers and he looked at her fingers then her. You have to get scolded that too badly, he said coldly and she gave him a look. What type of husband you are if you can't defend his wife, can you? She said with annoyance. I don't like getting scolded. Sonny, Emo is calling you, she said coming and one sided nodded. Okay, coming, she said feeling. Oppa, aren't you coming? She asked. I have to go, he said, but his eyes fixed on her and Minnie nodded. Sonny, come fast. Minnie walked as Vine followed her, lowering her head. Jungkook watched her disappearing figure. I still get any answers, she said, folding arms across her chest. Mr. John laughed a little and Mrs. John glared at him. I'm asking you as well, she said, and he corrected him. Where you go? I didn't bring any. Not possible that you are not involved, she said in disbelief, and Mr. John looked at her unbelievable. I did bring Hyung-sun on these two people request. He accepted as Mr. John's eyes widened, and while Noah's dad controlled his. When did I ask you? He said, being shocked. Of course, those two drinks were his only, he said, adding fuel, and Mr. John glared at him, while Mr. John got up, slamming tape. How shameless you both. When did I ask you, huh? He said, being shocked. Mom, that was 95% alcoholic, he added, controlling his smile, and Mr. John glared at. You brat. Excuse me, answer me first, she said, intruding. What should I say you? You don't trust me. It could be anyone. I wasn't one of them. It could be Jungkook too. My son doesn't drink, she replied firmly. Mr. John huffed, feeling defeated. When Mr. John's eyes landed on Wyan, who was standing in the corner. Come here, Wyan, she said, and Wyan looked up. Yes, mom, in low voice. Come here, she said coldly, and Wyan walked slowly. Answer me one thing. If you drink it accidentally, but alcohol tastes different from any other drink, isn't it? So why you drink two glasses? She asked coldly and she looked away nervously. Do you have any idea what you have done yesterday? She asked coldly while she has no answer. Therefore, he showed farm to him. Answer me, I need justification to justify your actions. You know there were people, Jungkook's business people, and many more. She added as she looked down. Mom, let it be. He speaks from behind as she looks, and a relief formed on her face. Did I ask you the answers? No, right? Jungkook sat next to her. What has happened can't be changed, can it be? He asked. This is not the way to escape the situation, she said, and Jungkook put hand on his shoulder. It was a mistake. She doesn't even know it, he said, convincing her. But Jungkook, please, mom, let her be. She's young. It's okay. I'm not bothered, so it's okay, he said, and Mrs. John sighed. Okay. While Wine watched him, and he smiled a little. Okay, come have breakfast. Wine nodded. You are going office? She asked, and he nodded. Wine looked at Minnie, and she smiled at her, and she smiled back in gesture. Noah, come quickly, he said, and she nodded as Wine immediately looked up. I knew it. I knew it, this man, like every other girl. She murmured, a bit audible to him as he looked at her frowning. Excuse me? He asked. Wine glared at him, digging her fork and plate. As he looked at Fogg, then her, and he raised brows. And she looked away, clenching his jaws. Shameless man, she muttered, and he turns completely, looking at her. Do you have any problem? He asked. I'm done with my breakfast, she said, getting up, and he raised brows, looking at her. Latest, which is full. But you didn't eat anything, young Sunim, he said. But I'm full, Sovin. I need some rest. She said, and Jungkook kept looking at her, while Minnie controlled her smile. Seoni, you can ask Oppa if you wanna go on bike ride with him. It's nothing like that. I don't even like bikes, she said, and Jungkook's brow straightened. Youngsunim, you shouldn't say that. Bike rides are his first love. You can check out his all collections, he said. Yes, and why are you saying that when you told me that you love bikes rides? Why did you let her come? I don't mean I never said that, she said, cutting her off. Fine, you can go. It's okay now, why you can go, she replied coldly. Excuse me. She walked without sparing a glance at him while he eyed on her walking. You are cooked, Opa, she said. Baked, he muttered, scratching his head, while laughed a little. Are you going? Jungkook looked at him tiredly as he nodded. Am I ready for anything else? Leave first, she asked, and what should I expect now? Jungkook, he snapped back from his trot. Shall we? He nodded, being confused as he walked and Noah followed. Made for each other. If Hyung jealousy is lava, then Hyung Sunam jealousy is volcano. They high-fived laughing. Jungkook's thoughts still stuck on her as he sighed, shrugging all of them. And he moved to sweet section as he took out the sweet box, which is filled with different kind of cookies and brownies. He sighed as he's about to walk, but he stopped as he took out the chocolate as he sighed heavily. Why you do this to me? I was angry with you. Why you always turn the table? He muttered. He's about to put back Jungkook, she speaks as he looked at her. Are you done? She asked, and he looked at the things in his hand. Yes, he replied, scratching his head. No one nodded. Okay, let's do billing. He nodded as she is about to walk. No, I mean Noah. She looked at him, raising head. Can you give this to Ryan? He asked, extending chocolate as she looked at him. Then chocolate. You should give by yourself, I guess. It would look more nice, she said, and he bit his lips. I'm not going back now. Actually, that's why I'm asking, he said nervously. It's okay, give her later, she said. It will get melted, please, Noah said as she took. Okay, but you should do this, she said as he scratched his neck. Thanks, don't tell her that I sent, he said, and she frowned. Are you even serious? What are you saying? Why should I give her? She asked, and he looked. Please try to understand, he insisted, and she looked at him. Is everything good going between you both? She asked, and he didn't answer as he looked away. If not, then make it good. It's good to see you doing this. Not everyone gets love, she said, and Jungkook looked at her immediately. Hey, don't Danny now. I can see in your eyes clearly whom you're hiding, she said, and he sighed. Leave this topic here, he said, and she nodded. They walked, and Jungkook looked at her. Did you get any BF or any relationship? He asked, and she looked at him, shaking her head. I'm not interested. Jungkook. Mom, Dad is finding some guy for me and set me on many blind dates. I'm not feeling like to get hooked or marry, so yeah. She added, and Jungkook looked at her seriously. Are you still stuck? She shook her head. I don't have any hard feelings, nor I'm stuck. It's just I don't want to, she said, and he stopped her. Why? He asked, and she removed his hand. I'm a bit disappointed from life, Jungkook. Not from you, because I'm still stuck that why life been so harsh on me. I first time fell in love with someone and didn't get it. That's the only complaint I have, she said, and he stared at her for a while she looked at him. Don't look at me like that. But tell me one thing, which I was quite curious from a long time. Did you deny to be with me, even we know each other for childhood, and you chose to marry a stranger? She asked, and his eyes flickered. In that you behave so harsh at times, sometimes so loving, she said, and he looked down, smiling slightly. She's no stranger, he uttered, and she looked at him curious. He looked at her, and there is another kind of sparkle in his eyes. I mean, she's something which I am not still able to understand. I didn't want to marry her, but at the same time, I wanted her. He said a no up front. This is really complicated that I am still not able to find out. Very complicated. I want her, but at the same time, I try to push her away. I have my reason for that, I can tell you. She is something that I can't express, but I can say it that I feel complete with her. He replied with a soft grin, and Nova smiled slightly, shaking her head. Just say stupid you love her. It's clearly visible in your eyes. She started walking and he focused cheeks. I don't think I can confirm it now. Can I? I can't. It's just something I can't express in words. Love. No, Nova, listen to me first. Shut up and accept the fact of her. Jungkook followed her. No, listen to me. Wine was lost in her thoughts as Minnie came following Nova and Supin. Seoni, she called her, making her step back as she looked up. She asked, would you like to go on walk with us? She asked. Wine looked clueless for a while. Hyungsun, today you had dinner, right? He asked, and she nodded, being hesitated. No, I was saying this to you because I'm not sure when will Hyung come back. Today, because he goes on bike race with his friends on every Friday. Mine sense. Thanks for the information, Sophin, she said, smiling. But I don't think he went, she interrupted. Means. Yeah, thanks for the help. I'll check tomorrow. He entered in the living room, talking on phone. As everyone's attention diverted to him, and Subin raised her. Quite early, it's 10 early. He muttered. Yeah, sure, my secretary will reach out to you tomorrow. Okay, we'll call you. He cuts the call as he walks in. He looked all of them blankly as they are looking at him curiously when his gaze shifts to the person who ends sparing a glance at him as he sighs. Is something on my face? He asked and Subin shook his head. No, Young, we are surprised to see you this early. Didn't you go on a bike ride today? He asked and he corrected his throat. Going now, he said as Wine eyed on him. Now, he raised Rose looking at him. That's really sad of her. It's not a time to go. You should spend some time with Sony as well, she said and he rolled his eyes. Are you all done? Minnie shook her head. I'm so done of you already, she said. Okay, no issues. Who asked for the ice cream? Can take. Minnie looked at him immediately. I was the one who asked, she said and he raised Rose. Are you sure? He said with a playful grin and she immediately took the bag from his hand. Of course I did. Thank you so much, Oppa, she said and he shook his head. Whoa, so many flavors. All of are mine? She asked and he shook his head. Not for you only, for everyone. When he smiled. Whoa, thanks. Mr. John and everyone walked in laughing as Jungkook looked at them and Mr. John looked at him surprised. Oh, son, quite early? What a pleasant surprise. Is everything okay? He asked. Is that where are you coming from? He asked. Nothing, night walk. Jungkook nodded. Oppa brought ice cream for us. Mr. John's eyes lit up. Really? I was craving for it, he said, coming in Mrs. John's side. This man and his love for sweets, she murmured and Jungkook looked at her. Your man has diabetes, control him, he murmured and with a grin and his mother gave him a look. He's the third kid which I didn't give birth. Jungkook chuckled slightly. Sony, which flavor you will have? She asked excitedly and went inside. No one you can have, she said and Jungkook looked at her. Why so? You don't like ice cream? Fine shook her head. No, Dad, she said, and he just watched her. Strange kid you were. Ryan smiled slightly. I'm going in my room, she said, excusing herself. My dinner? he said, a bit panicking, and Wine stops at her place, shutting her eyes. I didn't ask Cook to make since you eat outside on Friday, she said, and his eyes fixed on Wine. But I didn't have mom, he said, and Mrs. John made a face. Cook isn't available now, son. What would you like to eat? I'll make, she said. Mom, you'll have your rice and Wine will make, he said, and she finally glared at him. Oh, okay. Wine, please make something for him. Spicy tomato soup, he said, and she tightened her jaw. Okay, that's easy one. I hope you can make, she said, and Wine nodded. Okay, mom, she said with a slight smile. She walked from there while giving last glare as he looked down, then smiled again, looked up, biting his lip as he walked near me. Give me Wine's and my ice cream, he muttered to her, and Minnie smiled, looking at him. Okay, she's taking out 2 cups, the chocolate brownie one, he whispers, and Minnie's raised. For Seone, he took ice cream from my hands, correcting his thought. For me. Oh, shut up, Oppa. I know you hate this flavor the most. Jungkook looked away, scratching his head. Focus on yours. Minnie giggled.